Welcome to the house of Rudy. I'm happy you are here today. Today is episode 6, Rudy's Rants. This is going to be a series that I'm going to run on the show. I don't know how many episodes I'm going to do, but I'm just going to rant pretty much about politics, everything going on around the world, and then things going on in my personal life and outside factors that I have no control over. So it's basically going to be a rant, but I want to entice my listeners to, answer back to me. If you hear a topic or you hear me say something that maybe you might not agree with or you do agree with, let me know. Give me a call. I'm going to be putting up a number now, so anybody can give it a call and leave a voicemail, and I'll play it on the show. And I'll keep it anonymous. You could just go on, do whatever you want. And so, yeah, that number will be coming soon to you guys. I'm super excited about it. But I did want to start off the show. I had I just to give you guys some context. So I have this group of friends that I grew up with. We all grew up on the same block. There was me. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 of us that all grew up on the same street, and we were all around the same age. And the core, about 5 of us are always in contact. We have one group chat that if that group chat ever got leaked, everyone would be in jail. I mean, we go hard on that group chat. Like, you got to be quick and you got to be witty. Sometimes things get hot and you push a little button. You should have said that one. We all know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But I have these core group of 5 friends. They're like my brothers. I've had a interesting relationship with my real brother, but these dudes filled in when I really needed him. My real, blood brother. And they became family. I mean, we grew up with each other. I would be able to walk into their home and their moms would, cook a plate and cook me a plate. And vice versa. If the dudes came over to my house, my mom was always open arms to them. And we really created a bond that will never, ever be broken. I mean, we're like 25 years in on a friendship. Like, I think we'll be together as friends for a very long time. One of my closest out of that group, JB, he lost his father this week. Ben Brown. I'd always call him Benjamin. Benjamin! I'd walk up the driveway and I'd see him sitting on his stool, having a Bud Light, I think. Yeah, I think so. No, I can't remember exactly what beer he'd always drink. And that's just because it's been a crazy week. It's been a crazy weekend. Emotionally, like, I am everywhere and drained. But, Ben Brown, he was like a second father to me, dude. I mean, JB was my right-hand dude, and there were years where we drank together, man. And we drank at his house in his garage because his parents were super awesome and just caring. They just wanted to know we were safe. We weren't in the streets. We were just in the garage. And telling stories and talking and listening to music, and Ben would come in and he'd just tell us mind-boggling stories, dude. Stories that can't be shared again. And Ben saw a different side of Rudy that my parents didn't even see during my adolescence. I was so afraid of showing my parents my true colors of, like, being wild and drinking and loving to just do wild things. And I don't show my family that. But Ben saw it all because we used to party there. He saw Rudy that would be violent. He saw Rudy that just was like unhinged. I didn't have a good grasp on life in those years. But you know what? Ben never freaking judged me, man. I talked to that dude and I'd always find laughter at the end. I mean, the pain could be extremely rough, like when Joshy passed away. And he'll make you laugh, guaranteed. You can be in tears, crying, but Ben will bring something out of you to make you laugh. He was witty, he was quick, sarcastic, and he was vocal. He was vocal about the things he believed in. He grew up in a different time. He came from the other side of the country and started a life here. Was a wild man, just like his son. But you know, Ben did a lot for JB and taught him how to be a man. And JB's a great man. He's respectful. He understands a father and son relationship and the respect that's deserved in there. Not only that, but Ben shaped JB to respect all humans. Be respectful. Especially adults, like older people. Man, JB was on point. You know, he didn't mess around with that. He wasn't rude. He wasn't disrespectful. He was always kind and nice and just showed love. He's a gigantic man, and I mean that. Like, he's like 6-something and 350, like big man. And but he's so caring and tender and just loving. It's the irony that I always see in him. But back to Ben Brown. He raised JB to be a respectful, very respectful man. And much like any parent in this world, including myself, we all had our flaws. We all had the things that, like I say, there's going to be things that my daughters are going to go to therapy for that maybe I didn't even think about. And that comes with parenting. But damn, I'm going to try to be the best I can. And you know what? Ben was a strong man. Yeah. He didn't break all the time. He wasn't down and out and crying. I never saw that in him. And I built a relationship with him that, aside from his son being one of my best friends, he taught me so much. At being strong and laughing about things, even when you don't want to smile. That can be a fix to an issue, an emotional issue. He taught me that. You're a good man, Ben Brown. And I'll always miss you. And you got a beautiful grandson here now. JB's well. You don't have to worry about him anymore. He's okay. He's doing good, Ben. I know you're proud of him. And to Chris, Ben's wife, JB's dad, she is again a second mother to me. And my pain, like my heart hurts for her so much right now. So much. I keep thinking about her. I mean, I pass their house and it's like, I can't not think about them. I mean, dude, every 20 plus years, they lived at the top of the street, so when we'd be driving, I'd see his dad behind this wall where you can kind of see through holes, and he'd be there, having a stove, and he'd always just give a wave. You'd see a hand come up. Every morning when I'd be going to work, when I was, living at my parents' house, I'll never forget that. And Chris is the staple in the Brown family. That woman is strong. And I love her. I love her like a mother, and I love Ben like a father. And my heart's broken for them. My heart's broken for JB. But one thing that I admire in that Brown family is they can smile, they can joke, and they can laugh. Even in the toughest of moments. I envy that. Actually, you know what? I don't envy it. I applaud it. That's true resilience. It's having coping skills to get over things. People underestimate those skills sometimes, and I think they're tremendous. And I'm just grateful to have the Brown family in my life. I really am. So JB, Ben, and Chris, I love you three. Kaylee, throw Kaylee in that mix. Little Colton, their new son, their baby boy. They got it. They're doing it, man. I'm proud. I really am. Miss you, Ben. Love you, Ben. So I kind of wanted to jump back into everything going on in this freaking world. Have you guys been hearing about these mass shootings? Like, there's shootings going on all over the place. And I mean, this is a pretty bad moment in America where you have to differentiate between a mass shooting and then just like a murder, a multiple person murder, like in a home because they were all family members. We had like two sets of murders, one in, I believe, Texas and one South Carolina. And I believe in both homes, it was a family of 5 or 6 each that were shot and killed. One of them an ex-NFL player. Ridiculous, dude. Ridiculous. And it's gonna be interesting to see his autopsy. However, I don't know if the bullet wound, because I believe he killed himself. I don't know if the bullet wound went through his brain and they're not gonna be able to look at it. I don't know, but I'm gonna say, dude, this dude probably had some CTE or some type of neurotic, brain injury that just causes people to freak, dude. Freak. And I've had my share of head injuries, dude. And I can tell you, like, it has an effect on your memory for sure. And I've had like about a little more than a handful of concussions. And I've had a few MRIs and I've had brain swelling from an accident one time. And so, like, dude, head trauma is ridiculous. And it'll make you do some weird things. And you top that with if they were taking any type of like narcotic or even a prescription drug, and you mix that with their mental health issues related to the CTE, it's game over, man. It's a whole different person. But aside from that was one case in one family. There was another family, I believe in the family in Texas, that a family of 5 were murdered, and I think there were some children in there. Then there was a shooting 2 days ago at a mall, and it just this country has become a freaking haven, dude, for these mass killings, just gun violence. Let's talk about that, but But one thing you got to do when you do look at gun violence, when you do look at reports, when you do look at information on it, make sure you differentiate between gun violence caused by suicide or gun violence, as a murder or a homicide. Because we do have a high suicide by gun rate in this country. But no other country in this world has as many shootings as we do. And we support gun ownership in America. And we fear that that anything against it will infringe on our rights. But we're freaking here now, man. I understand the rights issue, and I understand we don't need to take guns away from everyone. That's not... I don't think that's the ship to sail, because that ship's gonna go down, man. How are you gonna take guns from everyone? And not only that, but when we signed our Bill of Rights, we had freaking pistols and muskets and shit, and we use that to defend our land, our family, or any enemy that may attempt to infringe on our freedoms. Okay, fast forward now to today. You can fucking excuse me for cursing, but you can print an AR-15. Ghost guns, man. Look it up. If you don't know what ghost guns are, it is a freaking trip, man. I heard you can buy ghost guns on Wish if you go deep into Wish enough. But that's just word on the street. But we brought this upon ourselves, man. Man is freaking greedy. Man yearns for advancement. But, man's yearn for advancement will eventually be our downfall. It will be, man. And some of you, you own weapons for protection of your land and your family. I respect that. If you're a stable-minded individual that can have guns and understand the safety in dealing with guns and shooting guns and doing all that shit and cleaning them and taking care of them and even just transporting them. Like, there's details that need to go into it. And if you're a careless individual, you should not have a gun. You shouldn't. The ones shooting music videos pointing the gun like that, yeah, you probably shouldn't have a gun, dude. You're probably not the one that should be having a gun on the freaking streets, man. And I'm a rap fanatic. Look at me. I mean, I'm a rap fanatic, bro. But when it comes down to actually talking about gun violence and understanding that the impact of having guns in the wrong hands is it's showing like every other day now, man. It's not good. Things are not going things are oh my goodness. Let me get some water. Excuse me real quick. So, I have a theory about gun violence and things that might help control this violence by weapon. And when I go through these theories, I just ask that you keep an open mind. Remove yourself from any previous thoughts just for a moment. Try to understand my point of view removed from yourself, just like hovering over, looking at it. Okay? When a person is admitted 5150, they no longer can control their actions. They are a threat to themselves and those around them. Upon release, a 5150 patient must sign a waiver waiving his right to own a gun for 5 years. After 5 years, I guess you're just off that list. There is no follow-up. There is no checkup. And there's no follow-up to ensure that you are capable of owning a gun. That's an issue. Granted, it's not the main issue of gun control, because I really don't think you got to tackle it from you gotta divide it up and start sectioning things off about what gun control you're actually looking for, and stop with the oppositions of the NRA and then people for gun control. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. If you are a part of the NRA and you do respect it, you would want to promote more gun safety, more gun handling procedures that help people, more extensive reviews into these people's backgrounds. And just, speaking about the 5150 issue, is it an issue of gun control, or is it an issue of lack of follow-up to such a big mental health crisis or breakdown? Again, I'm only talking about 5150 admitted patients that are on a 72-hour hold. Once that hold is lifted, or I'm sorry, they are under gosh, what is it called? Like, I don't want to say review, but they're being watched, basically monitored, and the doctors want to ensure that they're capable of not harming themselves or anyone else around them when they do release them. So it's a minimum 72 hours, and then depending on your situation, you might be released right after the 72 hours or multiple days after. I'm not sure. It depends. It all depends on the issue. So I believe the ones who push for gun ownership should have some concern about this, and because that's the ones that own guns and do these heinous acts to give the not gun owner society members a terrible opinion of you and your opinions and your weapons. We should have the NRA be responsible for following up on these issues. Is it, and I'm not saying that the NRA is going to contact you and say, hey, are you still feeling suicidal after 5 years? I'm saying that the NRA should be financially responsible for paying, psychologists that follow up on these things to ensure that these people being, given basically the ability to own a gun after 5 years from a mental crisis breakdown that you were 5150 admitted, then there should be a follow-up. And I believe the NRA should be responsible. And I don't even know if it's possible to designate the NRA to be the ones that follow up with the 5150s. And the reason I suggest this is because it would still allow the NRA to hold true to their beliefs while reinforcing gun safety amongst those suffering from mental health. I don't know, man. That's just a jumping off point. But how about initiating like a gun restriction on individuals diagnosed as depressed, suicidal, or harmful to others? And again, this is just a thought. So, would it be considered an infringement on people's freedom? More so people's freedom that are mentally ill? Does that mean you lose your gun ownership when you are diagnosed with a mental illness? These are the things I think of when attempting to develop ideas on controlling these dang mass killings, man. Aside from the mass killings, we kill each other in masses within the brown and black community, man. That's one thing that bothers me so much is people don't like to mention this because they feel like it's a race bashing. But, to be aware of facts and then purposely dismiss them and not decide to use them in your opinion or what you're developing in your head, it is just, it's astonishing to me, man. Why would you do that? You're literally saying, okay, that's an issue. However, it's not the main issue. Is it though? How do we tackle that? How do we tackle gun violence within brown and black communities? And I'm not just saying it's only happening in brown and black, but it is extremely high in brown and black communities. So how do we tackle that? do we take it from an education standpoint, from a society and welfare status? I mean, a society and welfare assistance program? I don't know. Where does the money come from to run these programs? But regardless, ignoring fact to make your point, I think is dangerous, dude. Dangerous. I look out for people like that because, man, if they're willing to do that, they're willing to ignore any fact. And that's scary. Because, make a mind up for yourself, but use fact, not just what you feel is better to empower your original agenda or your original thought. And people do that. And that's what people do. I'm not here to change anybody's mind or anybody's opinion. But this shit is out of control. Like, people, we need to do something about it. And I know, like, in this world right now, we have escalating tensions between us and Russia. We got Russia trying to go into Ukraine. We got Iran that fucking hates us. They've hated us for so they'll never fucking like us, dude. They'll never like us. And then we got Biden announcing that he's pulling all the troops out of Afghanistan. I believe there's like around 2,000 troops over there, and nobody knows why. Really. However, this won't be completed until like September, I believe. And the reason being is because they have to negotiate between Al-Qaeda and the Afghan natives that live there. What are they going to do? You know what it's going to boil down to? It's going to boil down to money. And if it's wild, man. What do you think is going to happen? Al-Qaeda is going to hold true to whatever treaty they agree to? They're making money off poppy seeds out there, man. They're slanging that heroin. That's why those dudes are always wild. They're probably coming down from a high, dude. They probably can't get high anymore. That's probably the issue. That's why they hate everybody. They're constantly trying to get high. They can't anymore because they've smoked all their own poppy seeds. I don't know, man. But the fact that we have to wait to pull out our troops in order for a terrorist organization to, I guess, negotiate, work with the local authorities. You think they're just gonna, as soon as they see our last plane go out, pull out the guns, dude, and just start killing everybody over there. It's nasty, man. But what do? That's going on over there. We have a freaking crisis here. What do we do with the kids that are being brought over from the border? The immigrants that have come to America, and we have no idea what we're going to do yet. We have kids out here in Long Beach and San Pedro now. 2,500 kids in Long Beach. I was listening to a podcast, Theo Vaughn's podcast, his weekend update. Beautiful podcast. Give it a listen. You will definitely listen to that probably over this podcast, which is completely fine because I'm still working out my kinks. But Theo Vaughn is amazing. He had a Border Patrol agent on, and I think it was aired today or yesterday. I only got a little bit of it, but he was talking about how the average age of the children in custody are like high school age students, which is interesting. I don't know why I have this notion when they say children that I think of my kids right away, I guess. Maybe that's what's playing in my head is I think of the girls, and I got a 5 and 10-year-old. Yeah, but regardless, just because they're high school age, they're still lost kids. What do? We just open the door, let them, the ones that have family here, they might be okay and they might be able to settle in and find their niche. But the ones that had the family that was broken up and now they're in Mexico still, and now the kids here, they have nothing. Eventually that child's going to fall into the U.S.'s care of welfare and providing for this child. So there's a lot of people that stand on the opposition of letting these children just come into our country because of the financial impact it's going to have on the U.S. having to care for these kids. So it's really boils down to a question of money or morals. Is it all about money or is it all about morals? I don't know, man. This country is becoming extremely weird. But yeah, that's all outside politics. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't bum you guys out with all my thoughts and theories on it, but I'd like to just kind of keep informed. I'm a real mellow kind of king of the fence, I call it. And I can't decide what's right or what's wrong because if I say I'm Democrat, there's going to be something inside of me that's saying like, oh, Rudy, like, think about Harris and all the things she did when she was a DA. She's a proud Democrat, obviously the VP. I can't be Republican because look at Matt Gaetz, look at McConnell. I can't even listen to that guy. He talks like the guy with the little things on his lips from Futurama. That's how he talks, man. I can't listen to that guy. I can't take him serious. And that's not a very valid reason to not be a Republican, but it is a valid reason for me. And there are a lot of ideals that I don't agree with on the conservatives or Republican side. Anyways, I'm the king of the fence. I can't go on either side. So when I watch this stuff, I watch it from such a third party view that nothing they say can really trigger me. They can say Democrats are all dumb and smoke crack. Okay. I'm not going to believe it, but whatever. That's what you believe. And the same thing with Republicans. They're all white racists that hate America, that hate anything that isn't white. Well, prove it. If you're able to make such a big judgment on an entire grouping of people, I mean, what are you doing here? Isn't that the same thing of making a judgment about an entire race of people? We got to be careful with what we say and what we do and what we believe. So, smarten up. If you don't give a shit about this stuff, hey, man, that's cool with me. Find something you do, like maybe you're really into sports and stuff. You follow that. That's what occupies your time. Hell yeah, do it. Aside from all that, in my personal life, my 5-year-old Gabs, my little baby Gabs, she's starting softball. And guess who's coaching? This goose right here, baby. Yeah, I'm coaching her team. Did I play baseball? Not at all. Do I enjoy baseball? Not at all. But am I pumped to coach softball because my daughter's on the team? Yes, I am. And this is the first time that I'm going to be head coaching. I've always been like a little manager to help out, do whatever they need around the field. But now I got to run the ship. So it's going to be a lot of fun. She's super nervous. She just turned 5. She's jumping into 6U. So it'll be a good first experience for her. She's a strong-willed girl. And we've worked on hitting before. And that girl can connect, man. It's crazy. But I'm excited. That's going to take up a lot of my time. I'm going to try to do the podcast as much as I possibly can because I do work my 9 to 5. And then my oldest daughter, my 10-year-old, is in a pre-team for gymnastics right now, and she is killing it. So it's looking like she'll probably take gymnastics a little more serious and possibly push it to make it on the team. And that's when things pick up. So literally Mondays and Wednesdays are gymnastics, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays will be softball. Every other weekend I have my daughters. It's going to be wild, man. It's going to be wild. But you know what? Life is getting back to normal, and we're an extremely, extremely busy family. We like to keep activities and keep the kids occupied as much as possible. So it's picking up, but I'm really excited about it. I will definitely be letting you guys know how it is going through the coaching experience and working with families and the kiddos and making sure everybody's just happy, man. I want them to have a great first experience because a lot of these kids, it's the first time they're actually playing like a more competitive level softball. It's not really t-ball. It's coach pitch, but you'll see, like, if you ever watch kids softball at 6U, it gets competitive. Like, parents are super into it. They want to see their kids do well. But I also want to embody the experience of just being out there and having a heck of a time and have some fun, because it doesn't have to be that serious at that age. It doesn't. It should be fun. They should be able to find a groove if that's the sport for them. Some of the kids after 6U, man, they'll never come back again, and that's okay too. They got their taste for it. I want them to finish out the year. So it'll be interesting, but I hope I can just keep those kids in line. My oldest, my 10-year-old, she's gonna help me coach too, and she's super smart and a straight up leader. So it'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited. But yes, make sure you tune in to the next one. This was Rudy's Rants. Peace.